What's up, everybody? Give him the lazy eye. This is Carla.
Hi.
We met a few weeks ago, and I thought she would be a great candidate to talk about, just what like guys or what kind of guys girls like and stuff like that. Well, her in particular. She can't speak for all women, obviously, but yeah, she's, in my opinion, someone that guys would be into. So.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
It's a good thing. A lot of guys would be into
Okay.
someone like you. She's very productive. She goes to the gym, works 2 jobs, goes to school, and apparently she has no fun in her life other than go to the gym. So, I don't know. To me, that's a productive person. Even though I would say have more fun in your life. You know what I mean?
I'm too tired. I feel with all the things going on in my life, I am a full-time student, and then like I said, I do have the 2 jobs, and then I still make time for the gym. I feel like I am way too overwhelmed, and my time is overtaken with all those activities for me to even go out. If I do go out, I want to be back early, and I'm extremely tired.
Is sleep like your best friend? Like,
Yes, it is.
Is that what you consider
really,
fun?
That is my definition.
Is it like, oh, what am I gonna do today? Well, I have time. Let me go take a nap.
And that, if you are my friend and you text me, hey, come over and take a nap, I will be there and take a nap with you. I will do that.
What if it's like, oh, I ordered pizza, like, come take a nap, like.
I'll eat the pizza and then
Yeah, that's great. Well, now you know how to win her heart. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's talk about it. So, let's talk about just like, let's step aside from like looks for now, and talk about like characteristics of like of a male. Like what kind of guys do you like? What kind of like lifestyle do you want him to live? What do you see as like your ideal boyfriend?
someone who is goal-driven, who's determined, who wants something for themselves. I've ran into a lot of people who are comfortable with the position they are in life right now instead of trying to accomplish more, because we all know we can all accomplish more. So that is one of the main things. I want somebody who, well, in my perspective, somebody who is motivated and is going to push more.
Okay. Now, do you want him to be more motivated than you, less motivated than you, as motivated as you? Do you want him to motivate you as well? Or do you feel like you already can do that on your own? Like, do you, or like, I know a lot of memes on Instagram are always like talking about how like, oh yeah, find like a partner who you motivate and like motivates you. Is that kind of like what you kind of go for?
In a way, yes, because I know whenever we get overwhelmed with things and when sometimes we do get tired of stuff, we do need that extra push from somebody else, but it also isn't the best thing to be fully dependent on somebody else for motivation. It should come within yourself. So I feel like if you find somebody who has the same level of motivation as you, it should be good. That way you guys balance each other out without feeling like one is being left behind and one feels like the other is doing better than the other one.
Okay. And how do you measure someone's motivation?
Well, obviously they don't have to be having so much things going on like me, but simply by, if they're just in school right now, the fact that they're motivated to finish all their classes, to be able to graduate in a certain time period, that is what I would say.
Okay. So what's your major?
My major is liberal arts /
Okay.
liberal studies.
Okay, cool. Is there a grade level you want to teach?
I would be between kindergarten and 2nd grade. I feel like those younger kids are better to work with. Once they are starting to hit 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I feel like it's a little bit more problematic. Well, in my perspective, some people might prefer working with older children. I prefer working with younger kids.
Okay, and would you ever like consider being more of like a principal position?
If the opportunity comes on later on in life, possibly. I know it is an extreme level of responsibility, so it would have to be something I would have to think fully about and make sure all the other aspects in my life are where I want them to be, so I don't prioritize my job before my other aspects in life.
Okay. Okay. Cool. You sound like you know, like, kind of like where you want to be and all that stuff. Okay. Well, let's get back to talking about boys. Okay? Let's see. Now, okay. Boys or men?
Are you talking about age-wise or maturity-wise?
I'm talking about what you consider a boy, what you consider a man. Like, is a 20-year-old a man, or is it just because he's 20?
I
or
feel
is
like
it like attitude?
it's maturity and attitude. I am 20. I did date somebody who was 10 years older than me.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference, I know. I learned my lesson with it.
Do you not wish to go back to that, or do you feel like you would rather stay to your age level?
I don't really know, because maybe not that big of an age gap.
But you do prefer older.
But I do prefer older people.
Okay.
I did make that mistake with him, who was 10 years older than me, but he had the attitude and the mentality of a 15-year-old. So it was super complicated for the relationship to work.
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot. You know, I've talked to so many girls, and they're like, "Yeah, I dated this 30-year-old guy, but he got mad if I didn't text back right away." I'm like, "What the heck?"
That was him.
Like,
that was him.
I'm like,
he had his own job and everything, and he knows I go to school and I work and everything else, and he would complain because I wouldn't prioritize him.
Yeah.
Which, that's why I said I don't think age tells me when a guy is a boy or a man.
Uh-huh.
It's their level of thinking, their attitude, and their maturity level.
Okay. Do you, I mean, I just came up with my theory right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that, like, males tend to, like, peak as far as, like, appearances and, like, just sexual attractiveness.
Mm-hmm.
and in the sexual marketplace, they tend to peak between like 28 and like 38, almost 40, I guess, something like that. My numbers aren't correct on that, but like around that age, we're talking about 30s, right? So do you think that he kind of felt like he was too good, that like he should have like you should have given him more attention because he was like a higher value male?
No.
Or did he have like subconscious, like did he have like self-esteem issues?
I would say it would be self-esteem issues, and he was very manipulative. When I would objectify, if I had something else going on and I didn't want to go see him, he would automatically try and make me feel guilty about it and try and turn it around on me. And even when I would, like you said, insecurity, when I would talk to just classmates about certain assignments, he would get extremely upset with me and would not want me to be on my phone when I was around him, and he would even get upset when I was not with him and asking who I was texting and on regards about what.
So don't ask who you're texting. Okay. Okay. Well, sorry that happened, but we've all been in bad relationships. I think the important thing about relationships, kind of like Ariana Grande,
Thank you
is
next.
to say thank you next. Yeah, exactly. You know, take what you can from that relationship and move on from it, you know? Okay, so now let's talk about approaching, okay? Because most guys don't know how to approach, in my opinion. Well, maybe not most.
Majority.
Okay, I guess most then. What are some good approaches? What has a guy ever came up to you? You've been like, that was a good approach. What do you remember anything from it? Like, what have you learned from that?
I don't think I've ever been approached in a good way.
Never.
The wrong time I would say to try and approach a girl would be at the gym. I've had people do that.
Okay.
Don't do that
I've
unless
done that
she's walking
before.
out or unless she's walking in. But if she's in the middle of her workout, don't approach her. It's just bad.
Okay.
Social media, do not. It's happened with me. Message the girl constantly as trying to as an approach.
Okay.
Like I've said before, if I didn't answer to your first 50 messages, I'm not going to answer to the next one you sent me.
Uh-huh.
I've seen a lot of people trying to pull me. If I have them on social media and I run into them in person, they don't talk to me. They like avoid me, but then later on they message me telling me they saw me in person. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I
So
say.
so like they could have had the opportunity to talk to
speak
you in
up, yes.
person, and then they didn't have the guts. So they're like, oh, by the way, with the coverage of social media, they're like, oh,
I saw you and
I saw
yeah.
you. You're cute. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, but if you didn't recognize me, but later on you realize it was me, then
it's different.
it's different. But if you fully recognize me and I see you just watching me from a distance, I've had somebody do that. Watch me from a distance and later message me that they saw me, that they think they saw me. Then no.
Okay.
I would say no.
What
Just
else?
a simple good approach would simply be maybe just complimenting, asking how the day's going. I would say, yeah, I think that's the best. I would say. I've had somebody at Starbucks approach me and just introduce themselves and give me a compliment, and I thought that was an appropriate way to approach instead of the other
Did
ways.
anything happen out of it? Did anything manifest from that compliment?
No.
Okay.
No, it did not.
So would you say that you would you say that because other than the gym, is there other places where a guy shouldn't approach, or is it kind of like free game everywhere else?
I'd say free game everywhere else. Yeah.
Grocery stores.
Grocery stores.
Victoria's Secret?
I mean, I don't know why a guy would be in there by himself, but
Don't look at me.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Let me think. Okay, so now that's the approach. Okay. Let's talk about what catches your attention, just from like physical aspects.
Physical aspects. I'm a variation.
You like a lot of different
I like
things?
different. Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Different styles.
I am into the gym guys. Not fully gym rats though. I can't stand gym rats. But if you are
Like a casual gym
a
goer?
casual gym goer, you care about your health, and I can tell that's something that attracts me to you. I like beards,
Okay.
but on some guys, they look good without beards. It's kind of everywhere, I would say.
Okay.
It's different variations.
Any race in particular? Color eyes? No? That's good. That's good. I like girls like you. I'm not too picky. Just willing to accept. I think you have high standards for their character, and I think that's why your visual standards have to like
Meet up to that.
kind of
Not meet up,
but like what I'm saying is like they're not so important. You know what I mean?
yeah. I have met some really attractive guys, but once they opened their mouth, it was like it went downhill. The personality, a lot of guys nowadays are more stuck up than girls, I would say, and that is a huge turn off.
More
for
stuck
me.
up than girls. Really?
I've met a couple guys that are a lot more stuck up than girls.
I mean, I know there are some, but
Yeah,
I don't know
there's a lot.
a lot.
Well, I mean, maybe just the guys I have associated with, but
Okay, maybe. We don't know.
yeah.
Okay. But that's your opinion, okay? It's your opinion. This is that's what this video is about. Okay. Yeah.
If I find out they're lazy, like not just physically lazy, like they're not doing it. I mean, if you don't want to do anything for your physical appearance, that's okay. But if you're just lazy, like I had said previously about being comfortable with where you are and not trying to better yourself, that is a turn off for me. I don't want somebody who I have to baby when I have so much other things I have to do. What else?
Okay, let me say. I think we're covering the bases pretty well. I just want to talk about, say a guy, like, does the approach right, gets your Instagram number, phone, Snapchat, whatever have you, Facebook. You guys agree to go on a date. Okay. Now, what kind of dates do you kind of like? Like, what is like a good date? What's a bad date? What is it all about the person? Do you care where you go? Like, because like, let me ask you, if a guy was like, hey, let's go to Walmart as a date, can you see that as being a date? Or you're like, no, that's not a date. There's no way you could have a date at Walmart.
At first, it will throw me off, but I mean, a date is getting to know somebody, right?
Yeah.
So I think shopping is one of the ways that you can get to know a person a lot.
Okay.
And just simply by having the opportunity and the time to be able to talk and to actually get to know the person, then I think it would be appropriate for a date. The only thing I would say would the movies for a first date, just going to the movies would probably be not because you're
not talking.
You're not talking. You don't know what kind of person they are. You don't know what they do. You don't know what their goals are. You don't know where they come from. If it was a dinner and the movie, then I think that'd be okay. But if it was just a movie for the very first date, I don't think it would.
Do you kiss on the first date?
I don't kiss and tell. Maybe. Maybe, depending how the date goes.
Depending on the vibe. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Do you ever, I just, like, have you ever, like, gone on a date and been like, goddamn, I've been with this guy for too many hours already? Like, you know what I mean? Because that's happened to me before. I'm like,
yes.
God, it's been like fucking 4 hours. Like, I need to go home, girl. But, like,
it was because that has happened, and it was because he had me do all the talking. He wouldn't say anything. And when I would stop talking, it was just silence. We went to dinner, and once I would stop talking,
was he nervous?
I don't think so, because I had talked to him previously a couple of times in person, and I mean, it's understandable being nervous over text and and in person, but he wasn't putting effort into communicating with me. He would ask me something, I would respond, and after I would stop speaking, it would just be silence the whole time. And then I had to start saying something for it to be somewhat of a conversation. But even when I would tell him something, he'd just nod, say yes, and just be like, or no. So that was a really dragged on
He would
thing.
just nod? Oh my gosh. He would just be like, yeah. Like, not, like, elaborate or anything. That's
Nope.
bad. That's bad. Why'd you go on a date with him? What made you go on a date with him?
He was a nice guy.
Like, over text?
Over text, he was a funny person, and I had met him at my job, and I had never really talked to him, but once over text message, I thought he was
probably a nervous wreck.
person.
He was probably, like, so nervous that he's like, God, I can't think of anything to say. She's just like, she's like killing me right now.
No, and then he tried to go to the pier after, but it was just so awkward.
You were like, no, I gotta end
can
this
you
right
please
here.
take me home?
Oh man,
I know, I felt bad.
That's
I felt bad.
That's bad.
But when you just don't vibe with someone, you don't, right?
I guess.
And I felt, honestly, in that date, I didn't feel no connection.
So there's no second date?
No.
There's no more talking after that?
We did message a couple of times after, and he did want to hang out again. And I told him
told him no?
I told him I was working.
And eventually he just gave up?
I eventually stopped replying to his messages, which it was wrong on my end, which I should have just told him.
You should have given him some
I
closure.
should have given some closure. I do feel bad about that.
You should have.
Because
Give
I
closure,
know.
girls.
Please do. Because I have been dropped with no closure before, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So now I really feel bad not giving that guy closure.
Yeah. Well, we're at 20 minutes. I think we talked about everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Have a great one, guys.
Bye.